This summer, Disney scanned your child or grandchild's face at the park entrance, converted it into a permanent biometric identifier, and stored it in a database. They did it without asking you, and now there's a $5 million lawsuit because of this. We live in a world where the most powerful technology ever built is being handed to you without instructions, without warnings, and without anyone asking whether it serves you or uses you. That question has a name: the virtuous machine. I'm Michael Ruthier, and this is Tech for Grownups, the show that believes technology should answer to human beings, not the other way around. This is the show the tech industry doesn't want you to hear. No corporate talking points, no sponsored opinions, just honest conversation. Let's go. Now, before we begin, let me give you the facts first, because I want to do this clearly with no spin, none of my personal spin here, okay? In April 2026, the Walt Disney Company rolled out facial recognition technology at the entrances of Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure in California. Now, every major entrance lane has cameras that capture your face when you enter. They convert your image into a unique numerical identifier and match it against the image taken when your ticket was first used. Now, Disney says this is to prevent fraud, to stop people from sharing annual passes, and to speed up entry. Those are not unreasonable goals. But here is where it gets complicated and where the virtuous machine question has to be asked. On May 15th, a California woman named Summer Christine Duffield filed a class action lawsuit against Disney in federal court, seeking a minimum of $5 million in damages. She had visited Disneyland with her children on May 10th. Now, her lawsuit states, and I'm reading this directly so I don't get this wrong, Disney does not adequately disclose the use of their biometric collection, so consumers, which almost always include children, have no idea that Disney is collecting this highly sensitive data. And she goes even further. Guests should be able to expressly opt into this type of sensitive facial recognition technology with written consent. The onus of privacy rights should not be on the victim. The onus should not be on the victim. I want you to sit with that sentence for a minute. Now, Disney will tell you the technology is optional. They will tell you there are separate lanes for guests who don't want to use facial recognition. They will tell you there are signs. Now, here's what those signs look like, and you're probably asking, why am I chuckling or giggling about this? Because here's what the sign is: a silhouette of a head and shoulders with a slash through it. That's it. No plain language explanation. No clear statement that your face is being scanned, biometrically converted, and stored. No visible indication of how long the data is kept. No information about who can access it, and no written consent form for you to sign before you walk through. A slash through a silhouette. And the dozens of entry lanes at Disneyland and California Adventure during one visit in April, there were exactly 4, count it, 4 lanes that did not use facial recognition. 4 out of dozens. Now, the lawsuit describes those alternative entrances as limited and unclear, easy to miss, and not meaningfully signposted. Designed, and I want to be fair here, I can't prove intent, but designed in a way that makes it very easy for the average family to walk through the facial recognition lane without ever understanding that is what they did, including your children, including your grandchildren. Those are people, your children or grandchildren, who cannot consent, who have no idea what a biometric identifier is, whose faces are now in a Disney database, and who had no say in that. I need you to understand something important. This is not a Disneyland story. Disneyland is the story that broke through, but the trend is already spreading to venues around the world. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles uses facial recognition at certain gates. Intuit Dome in Inglewood has a system called Game Face ID that scans your face for entry. And in the United Kingdom, Thorpe Park already collects biometric facial data from visitors. And this is the critical sentence from the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. Their own industry report states that facial recognition at attractions is, and I quote, becoming increasingly commonplace. Now, this summer, if you take your children or grandchildren to a major theme park, a stadium, or a large entertainment venue anywhere in the world, there is a growing probability that their faces will be scanned, converted into biometric data, and stored in a private corporate database. Without a conversation, without your meaningful consent, without them ever knowing it even happened. And here's the question that nobody in the entertainment industry is asking out loud. What happens to that data? And I'll repeat that. What happens to that data? Now, Disney says the numerical identifiers created from your face are deleted within 30 days, unless retention is required for legal or fraud prevention purposes. That exception is large enough to drive a freight train through. What constitutes a legal purpose? What constitutes fraud prevention? Who decides for how long, under what oversight? And here is the sentence that Disney itself put on their own website, the one that should make every parent and grandparent in the world stop cold. Be aware that despite our efforts, no security measures are perfect or impenetrable. Disney is telling you in their own words that the biometric data of your children or grandchildren, data that cannot be changed the way a password can be changed, data that is permanently and uniquely tied to a specific human face, is stored in a system they cannot guarantee is secure. A password that gets stolen, you just change it. You can change the password. A face that gets stolen, you cannot change your face. The lawsuit makes this point precisely. Biometric information can easily be associated with a person's identity and records, such as credit cards, government IDs, financial accounts, creating a data profile of extraordinary value to criminals if they ever got a hold of it, if it was ever compromised. Now, the happiest place on earth has built a database of children's faces, and they cannot guarantee, that's the kicker, that it's impenetrable. Now, let me ask the question that I always ask. What is this technology actually for? Not what Disney says it's for. What is it actually for? It is for reducing annual pass fraud, and that is a real business problem, and I understand that. Theme park tickets are expensive, pass sharing costs them revenue. The desire to solve that problem is legitimate. But here is where the virtuous machine draws the line. The solution to a business problem should not come at the cost of a child's biometric privacy, collected without meaningful consent, stored in a database nobody can guarantee is secure, and used for purposes that can be expanded without notice. There was another way to solve the ticket fraud problem. There are fingerprint options. There are QR codes tied to accounts. There are photo ID verification systems that don't require storing a biometric facial template permanently. Disney chose the most invasive option available, and they deployed it at nearly every entrance. And they told you it was optional with a slash through silhouette. You should have gotten that idea right there, huh? No. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is it fundamentally that this thing is for?" The honest answer is, it is for Disney's convenience and Disney's revenue protection. Your child's face is the price of admission. Now, this is not a helpless situation. Here is exactly what I want you to do. Before you go to any theme park this summer, anywhere in the world, first, look up the privacy policy of the venue before you buy tickets. Search the name of the park plus facial recognition or biometric data. If they are using it, it will be there, buried in small print, but it'll be there. Know before you go. Second, when you arrive, ask specifically out loud at the gate whether facial recognition is in use and where the non-biometric entry lanes are. Make them show you. Make your children visible as human beings who consent matters, not as faces to be scanned. Third, if you walk through a facial recognition lane without consent, file a complaint. In the United States, your state attorney general's office handles consumer privacy violations. In Canada, the Office of the Privacy Commissioner handles those. In the UK, the Information Commissioner's Office, and if you are in the EU, your National Data Protection Authority. These complaints are free to file. They take about 10 minutes and are the only mechanism that creates regulatory pressure for change. Fourth, I want you to talk to your children and grandchildren about this. Not to frighten them, to give them language, to teach them that their face, their biometric identity, is theirs. That no corporation is entitled to it without a real, informed, written conversation. That optional means nothing if the opt-out is a slash through a silhouette buried at the end of a line. This is digital literacy. This is what it looks like when it actually matters. Now, I want to leave you with something. The lawsuit filed against Disney includes a line that I keep returning to. The onus of privacy rights should not be on the victim. That sentence is the virtuous machine in 12 words. Technology designed with virtue, designed genuinely for human flourishing, does not put the burden of protecting your children's biometric data on you. It builds consent in. It makes the privacy protective option the default, not the hidden lane with the ambiguous sign. We are not there yet. So until we are, the burden falls on us and on parents, on grandparents, on every adult who walks a child through a gate this summer and understands now that that gate is looking back. But I want you to take your grandchildren to the park and enjoy every minute of it. Enjoy every minute of it because it's priceless. But just know what you're walking into, and make them know too. This is Tech for Grownups and the virtuous machine. Tell me in the comments, did you know this was happening at Disneyland? Are you changing your plans this summer because of it? Everything referenced today is in the show notes at techforgrownups.com. Stay sharp, stay loud, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Marcus Aurelius asked a question that I think about every time I sit down to record this show. What is it fundamentally that this thing is for? Not what it claims to be for. What is it actually for? That's the virtuous machine question. And it applies to every piece of technology being built right now. The AI, the algorithms, the platforms, all of it. You'll find everything from today's episode at techforgrownups.com. Join the conversation in the community. The link is there. Stay sharp, stay loud, and I'll see you in the next one.